Alright, as you saw by the title of this video, I'm going to show you how I make beef jerky. Alright, so I got everything laid out here that you need to make beef jerky other than the dehydrator. But first we'll start off on the meat. I use a top round roast, and I purchase it, portion it up, vacuum seal it, and then put it in the freezer for whenever I need it. But you can use a bottom round roast. Those are my two go-tos, or just any type of real lean meat will be fine. Of course, deer, that would work as well. So everything you need to make beef jerky is sitting right here, other than the dehydrator. I'm actually going to use a little deli slicer I got on Amazon for like $100 because I make this quite a bit, so that makes it easier for me. But if you don't want to commit to a $100 purchase or however much it costs, then you can slightly freeze the meat and you'll be able to slice it thin with a good knife. And for the seasonings, the main is soy sauce with a little Worcestershire. I like to add in a little bit of hot sauce. Currently using this one here. It's pretty good. Not too hot. I use this Cosmos dry rub cow cover. Very tasty. I use the same thing when I make a roast traditionally in my Instant Pot. And a little bit of cayenne pepper when I want to make it spicy. But of course, as always, you can flavor things however you like or to your taste. But I like this recipe. Everyone that I let try my jerky loves it, so maybe it's a good starting off point for you. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is get your flavoring ready, or marinade, whatever you want to call it. So I start in, the main base is the soy sauce. That's why you see I have no salt added to this, because you'll get that from the soy sauce. I don't really have any measurements. I just base it on, experience, I guess. So mostly soy sauce. Then throw in some Worcestershire. That adds a lot of good flavor. Then I put in my hot sauce. Not too much. This isn't very hot really, just a good flavor. Then I come in with my Cosmos. This is really good seasoning. Put a whole bunch of that in there. And then a little cayenne pepper. A little goes a long way. And just mix that up, and all those seasonings will dissolve in that liquid. Now I'm going to get my slicer set up and cut the meat. Alright, so here's the slicer that I use. It's nothing fancy. It's not like those high-priced deli slicers you'll see in restaurants or at your local deli or anything like that, but it gets the job done. It's only $100. But it has a gauge down here to adjust the thickness, and I put it at about 4 millimeters. That changes this here. So I put it at about 4 millimeters. That's the thickness I like. Alright. So we'll just put our meat in here. Turn her on and get to slicing. I got my bowl of marinade right here. So as soon as I slice it, I'll put the meat in there. Nice thin strips. That'll be perfect for marinating. Now, if you noticed, this cheap slicer, it does want to rotate the beef as you slice it, and it won't do quite the perfect job if you see that there. So I do flip mine around and rotate it just to keep even slices. But I'll get all this sliced up and in the marinating bowl and get back with you in a minute. Alright, I got everything sliced up here in my bowl. Now I'll just give it a good mixing. See, I put a little bit too much of the marinades in there. That's alright. It's not going to hurt anything. Probably just make it easier to get all that flavor in there. But you want to give it a good mixing to get all them seasonings and spices coated on all the meat. And what I like to do is pick it up from the bottom and just kind of let it fall. Being real gentle, I'm not pulling on it, so I don't want to tear any of that meat. And that's it. Now you just put that in the fridge for anywhere, at least 4 hours, but ideally overnight. But I'm going to get cleaned up and we'll finish the video up. Alright, so after you let it marinate for a few hours, or like I said, possibly overnight, you'll want to dehydrate it. Now this is nothing fancy, it's just a Cuisinart brand multi-level dehydrator. It's probably under 30 bucks, so it's pretty cheap. But anyway, you want to put it on the low setting, and just, when you stack the beef in there, just leave enough room for airflow so it can dry out basically. I usually let mine go for about 4 hours or until it reaches the right consistency. You don't want it to be too moist, that's how it'll spoil. You want it to be dry, but you don't have to get it super dry. You don't have to be that fearful of it growing any bacteria or anything like that, because generally it's going to be too good. You can't stop eating it anyway. But I'm going to let this batch marinate. But here's some that I already had made. So that's what it looks like when it's done. It's got a good consistency. It's nice and flavorful. And everybody will love it. Alright, well, if you made it all the way through the video, I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, maybe learned something. And let me know if you tried out this recipe and how well you liked it. Or if you have any ideas for flavor combinations that you enjoy that I might like. Alright, thanks guys. FYI, I'm going to make this tomorrow after it marinates.